Well, welcome to another good goal or bad defending. Manchester United versus Chelsea. Hit a sub if you're interested in listening to more of my content. But I actually thought Chelsea were going to do one over on Man United. I know they've been awful all season, but it just seems like, you know how those games go sometimes, that they've got so much talent that you just expected them to get something out of the game. I can't believe they got blown away by so much. But right here, you can actually see why. So here they are in a defensive position. There they all are. Okay. And actually, if you look at what they're doing, no one's actually marking anybody. So here's the problem. You've got Casemiro here. I don't know who's over here. But, okay, so this is the problem when people are doing things like this. So if we move this on just ever so slightly, pause, right, so here. Now, remember the rules when you're defending. You defend what's in front of you. So this Chelsea player here is now have to defend what's in front of him. There's two Man United players. So now this player here, Chelsea defender, is on the wrong side of him. There's two Man United players now in this gap. Okay, and neither has been really marked by a Chelsea defender. Do we see that? So as this ball's coming in, he's not really close enough to him, because remember, he's running behind him. He started on the outside of him out here, and the Chelsea defender should have really taken a step back and kept him in front of him so he could actually challenge for the ball. He didn't. He let him, Casemiro, get in behind him straight away. It's simple defending, and he hasn't dealt with it at all well. Because, of course, he's just going, my mate behind him, he's going to deal with it, but he's already got a player. And he's not dealt with him either. So there's no one is actually getting picked up or defended properly here whatsoever. It's just completely terrible basic defending. Two players in a pocket. No one's picked them up. No, you even saw the heads didn't even swivel and turn to actually do anything about it. So let's move on a little bit. Bonf, if you come in, look, now he's put his arm out to try to grab the guy, to try to feel him, find out where he is, to jump up for the ball, to do anything. Doesn't matter. Ball's in the back of the net. That's terrible defending. Let's just get on to the next goal. Here we are on this next goal. We can just see Chelsea tried to put a bit of pressure on and nick the ball, but there's nobody in the middle of the park for Chelsea. So as soon as they do win the ball, it goes straight back to Man United shirt. Look, I've got problems with a lot of problems with Chelsea, the way that they play with their five at the back. But that's what happens because you're always outmanned in midfield. You've really got to have the players to play that way and have a really good, strong midfield to be able to get away with it. And they just don't have that. And not necessarily a strong midfield. Midfield, just knowing what they're doing can just be all the difference. Let's move it along a second, see if we can spot any of these little problems going on here. And there it is straight away. Right? As soon as he picked that ball up there, as soon as he did, saw the Man United player running on the outside, I think it's Jadon Sancho, running on the outside there, getting in behind. Not reacted at all. Wasn't even aware that it's happening, to be honest, was just completely switched off. And look, right, the other reason why I was talking about this midfield space here is because look how much time this guy's got on the ball. That's one of the other issues. Look, he's got all the time in the world. He can even be terrible at the football and still pick out a good pass just because he's got so much time on the ball. Look, he even has a bad first touch. He tries to give it back to Chelsea, and there's no one close enough. Right, and here's my problem again. Look at this. There's a man with his hand up telling his teammates what to do. In the Premier League, if that happens, you instantly know they're going to concede a goal. Like, who are you pointing and yelling at, buddy? Who are you pointing and yelling at? Like, what are you doing? In it goes. Curved run. This guy's still not reacted. We noticed that. Still hasn't even tracked the run. Still completely unawares that Jadon Sancho snuck in behind. Little flick ball over the top. Bump. And here's the other part. They still haven't really switched on to defending. Look, he could have got to him. I reckon he was playing properly. He could have got to him. Right? Would he have stopped the shot? No, but he could have got there. There's a difference of getting there and challenging, getting there and stopping the shot. He would have got there. Right? To his credit, though, picks out a great little ball on the back post. Look, he's still there. He hasn't even really moved on from where he was. And it's a tap in on the post. Overall, terrible defense. This next goal's a penalty from Ratface. He gets kicked in the box just about here, as you can see. That's the contact there. It's hardly anything. He's gone down. Is it a penalty? It's a foul, so it's probably a penalty. But I'm biased because it's Ratface. Any other player, and I'm probably going, yeah, it's penalty, but it's Ratface. But yeah, he steps up, scores the penalty. Let's get on to the next goal. Okay, so here we are for this next goal. They're trying to pass the ball out the back. Now, if anyone noticed my analogy of Man United at the beginning of the season, probably not because I didn't post it on YouTube. But what I was saying was you've got these 4 players, and this is why that they were dangerous. This is the only reason they were dangerous in scoring goals at the start of the season. It's because if any team tries to pass the ball out of the back, these 4 have got the quality to nick the ball and score goals. And if you looked at all their goals at the start of the season, I'd say a good 75% of them were from this problem here. When the other team's trying to pass the ball out of the back and they're nicking the goals. Now, I'm just going to move this on for a second because I want to show you the pass. Boom, here we go. There's the pass right there. Now, when people do... Now, when you're doing coaching and stuff like that, you'll probably have heard a million times when you're younger, don't pass across the 18-yard box. You would have heard that phrase a million times. Don't pass across the 18-yard box. Don't pass across the 18-yard box. Absolute rubbish, okay? It comes from the idea that it actually means, comes from the idea of not passing the ball square across the middle of the field. It doesn't matter if it's in front of the goal, up here on the halfway line. This is the important concept about playing a square ball, right? And the reasons behind it. It's no more dangerous if you're passing it on your 18-yard box than it is here. It gets a little bit less dangerous, but it's still dangerous as it further on down the field you get, the further away you get from the goal, because the further the more of a chance you can recover from the mistake. Now, the problem when you're passing the ball in front of the goal is clearly obvious. Someone can just walk and smack it in the goal, okay? But the more important part about it, it's about the quality of the pass. You can always pass across your goal. There's never a problem with that. It's about the quality of the pass and who you're passing to. The quality of this pass is awful. He's actually passed it to that space there, not the defender. And that's the whole problem. The person on the ball isn't quality enough. So what the phrase really should be is don't pass the ball square if you're rubbish at the football. That's what it really means. And they don't really sort of say that. They just like put these blanket rules over because they don't really understand why or what people are saying. Is it dangerous to pass the ball across the 18-yard box? Yes. If you're a good footballer, is it dangerous? No, because you're not making a stupid pass and it's actually going to where it needs to go. There's the big difference. So you need to be able to trust your players and teach them the right things. Because if you don't trust them and you don't teach them the right things, they don't learn it. Then even if you don't sort of let them know you don't trust them, they'll feel it. They'll know, because the player will go, well, I can do that. I'm good enough. Why won't you let me do that? No. No, trust your players, the ones that you can anyway. This ball across here is absolutely awful. So we'll move it forward a bit and we'll show you what happens next. Boom, look how far away it is. This guy's now panicked. And here's the interesting part, right? This is where it gets really weird. You can see his body shape. You can see that he stopped running. If he goes full pelt for that challenge, look, you're losing 3-1. I would be flying in for a challenge right here because you might get him on the edge, just outside the box. You might foul the guy, but you're probably chances of putting him off getting the ball. He's not. He's trying to back up and assume that this guy's already won it. But look at the difference in distance between there and there, right? Okay, so if he's running, he's gonna go to about there. That's the point of contact. Most likely is going to be there. But he stopped his run. If he carried on, it'd probably be about there and be closer to the point of contact. He's panicked. He's absolutely panicked because this is a terrible pass. Bump, gone in, knocks it in, does the keeper, and it's in the net box. All from a terrible pass. Let's get on to the best goal of the game because it's from my guy that I like, João Felix. One of United's biggest problems this season, why they really didn't challenge for the league, as good as Casemiro was playing, they really don't have much of a midfield. And everyone will disagree with me and start, talking nonsense, but they really don't. If they had a decent player, if they get Declan Rice next season or someone like that in the middle, with Casemiro, play 2 holders, they'll dominate. They'll absolutely dominate because they've got talent up front, but they can't really do much, and they really can't stop much on transitions. You can see it right here. This is a clear picture and a clear indicator. They're very good, and they were very, pressing on the one side, doing their thing. But the quality in midfield isn't good enough. So when the counter-attack happens, look what's going on here. You've got 3 defenders against 3, and no one's pressuring the ball here. So as we're moving this forward, we can see right here, bum, 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 no one's still going to pressure the ball. Now, I'm okay with this up until about, because that's what exactly I tell my defenders to do, would be backing off till probably about that line there, maybe a little bit deeper, depending on the pace of this player here. More pace here, less pace, I want him challenging here. Right, so as this goes forward, let's have a little look. Bump, 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 bump. See, he stops, but he doesn't make a challenge. That's fine. That's one of the lines I'd want him to go and press on. Would be about there. Perfect. So he stops. He goes to pressure the guy. Goes to pressure João Felix. But he doesn't really pressure him. And because his body shape is wrong, do you see him have to stop and turn and do that pirouette? He had to stop his body shape because he was completely and utterly wrong. And he had to turn. And that turn there stopped him being able to pressure the ball. So what he should have done was when he's running... it's a long thing. I'll have to do a video on it of how you back up and when you change direction, so you don't have to do that spin and turn, and you gain yourself an extra yard, or more importantly, don't lose a yard, which he's just done there. And João Felix gets the ball and whacks it in the net box. To be fair, I think De Gea probably should have had that. It was in the bottom corner on the ground, but I think De Gea's kind of past his prime in a minute. But yeah, great goal by João Felix. Well done. See you next time on Good Goal or Bad Defending.